150. Uncle Bryn goes for home. 3 lengths in front. Ironclad Visionary calls sign Mab, but it's all Uncle Bryn. Another cup on the mantelpiece for Mark Zara. Uncle Bryn won it well from call sign Mab.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined in studio by Pan Pac gold medalist John Walter. Is that right?
Did you take 3? Sorry, I'm just trying. What am I? No, the Masters champion or something. I don't know.
What did you get? Under 40s? Over 40s?
Yeah, I was like between 35 and 41 and a quarter or something. No, what is it? It's every 10 years. 35 and 45. I missed 5 years. I could have been doing this 5 years ago. Could have been back. I could have been back 5 years ago.
I tell you what, wasn't much of a medal. We should try and dig out the graphic. I haven't got it.
I forgot
it's probably one of the weakest gold medals I've ever seen. It looked like a participation medal.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I can't even dig it out.
What was it for? Was it for bowling?
10-pin bowling. He's a champion.
Bowling, 10-pin bowling. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, if I lost that, I was going to try lawn bowling. That was my next goal. But
tell you what, he's borrowed some grandpa's shirt too. Walt's usually got nice kit, but now you've got the old thing. Have a look at this. He's got all the medals.
Five.
Oh, what a haul!
5 of medal haul.
Who are you playing against?
Hey, literally, it's incredible. Like one of the dudes, you can bowl as many times as you like during the week or whatever. It's like open between there's like 4 squads or something, so you can just keep going and try and qualify for the Sunday. And one of the dudes I bowled with he bowled like 90 games for the week. 90.
Sounds like a Mickey Mouse competition.
Holy heck! Anyway, it was interesting. But they were pumped on the Sunday.
Congratulations, but there's an asterisk.
$26. When do we get paid? I'm waiting to get paid for my TopSport account, the $26. Holy.
Oh, DK, I heard a voice there. You've got a pulse. COVID survivor, DK.
I'm back, Scoot. I'm back.
Gee, you look good.
I was wounded there. got me the COVID. That was combined. While the story was that I was at a 50th on the Saturday night. As I was in here off an early finish to that for the Melbourne Cup preview, and it turned out that I put the missus on the plane to Vietnam, come home from the airport and started feeling crook, and down I went. And she said she landed and then said, "Oh, there's some other people at the party got a bit crook. You might want to test yourself." And sure enough, it just lit up like a beacon, the thing. So down I went, and then single parenting for 2 weeks with the COVID, and then I gave it to my daughter. That was good. So there's another. I added another 3 days more locked up, and anyway, and I was pretty crook too, but come good. So I'm back. But
it's good to see you back, DK. I reckon you've improved from COVID. I think you've come through the run beautifully. You look like you're full of colour.
I'll tell you what it did. It got me off the drink skirt. You get that metal taste in your mouth from the bloody thing. So I never had a drink for a week, which is one whole week off the drink I wouldn't have had for 25 years. So then I said, no need to get, so I went another week off it, and I had a couple of guys I read when the missus got home from Vietnam the other night at dinner, and that's it. So I tell you, getting off the drink freshens you up a bit. I'll give you the tip, even though it's not a long-term play, but it's good for a freshen up, Scoot.
I tell you what, DK, the wheel of racing never stops turning, and your arch enemy, while you've been down and out on the canvas, Trent Bazuston, has just he's risen from the ashes. He's like David Koresh. He started his cult.
Risen.
He's got a siege situation down at Cranbourne, and guess what? He's taken one of our own, Nick Noonan.
2. I think they're both
Nick
on board,
Noonan
aren't they?
has joined the cult.
I think both.
He's
Noonans,
a full believer. They've converted to the.
I think
2. Add another one. Add the bloke next to you, Scoot. Some silly tweet he put out of his young bloke getting home last night trying to throw the fishing line out to me, and I did bite, but
it got him right in there. We threw the dolphin bait out.
Straight at me. But I mean, please, Scoot, please. How can a bloke? He's got 150 horses, average price $200,000 yearling, so he's got $35 million of horse flesh.
That'd be
how can he be down and out like he's allowed to train a couple of 2-to-1 winners on his home track? Like, please, I'm talking about long term. He's not one of mine. I mean, Rivers de Kock won the Cup last year. Now Bazuston wins it this year. I mean, it's not a hard race to win. So, and then the 2-to-1 chance wins. I mean, you talking about River Plate yesterday, Nico? You talking about it? How did it take 10 starts to win a race? Like how?
Oh, he was sort of running a few big races. He bumped into the creek.
Was he poorly placed? Would you say poorly placed for his poor owners?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, it only matters that he got the result yesterday when we were on him. But
yeah, that's right. That's all that matters. The punt. It's all that matters.
I'm a believer. Team Kiwi.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, he's allowed to. Bloke, he's got $150,000, $200,000 yearlings is allowed to train 2-to-1 winners, I would have thought, Scoot.
Speaking of 2-to-1 winners, Nico said it a lot. They ran pretty straight yesterday at Sandown. River Plate, Tasman.
Pretty straight.
Did they ever?
I don't think there's any flexing from anyone about yesterday's program. I had to turn Twitter off last night. There's bloke saying they've nearly tipped the card and this and that, and you just go and get up dynamic odds and look at the results. First favourite.
You calling
the
him
only
Nico
thought the
Harley?
second favourite was Secret Glamour, who drifted from first favourite to second favourite, was the only one he missed. He's the only one who got there. He was the only one who wasn't favourite.
Come on. Nico's still found
Nico
it.
Harley. Is that what he's saying? Nico Harley.
I'll tell you what.
Nico Harley, there we go.
Oh, that's harsh.
It must be Christmas because the Grinch is back.
Hey?
Hey?
Nico Harley.
Flexing on every favourite's one. Not talking about you, Nico, but there's some other blokes, SEN and all this sort of business. Want to say how good they shoot. Well, if every favourite wins, they're going to tip winners. If the favourites get beat, they're going to have a strip out. It's just chalk and cheese.
Tell you what, I feel bad talking about last week's results too. Braden Starr, Bazuston, Uncle Bryn. It was an absolute one-y. Valana, Driver Deal.
I'll give you a Bazuston stat. Flemington. How many winners from Flemington from his last 50? Nico?
52.
Zero.
One. Minus 77%. Minus 77% profit on turnover. Caulfield. 3 from 50. Minus 52%. So he never trained to win and never got close.
I want to challenge that, Flemington sack, because the percentage, we only backed one of the 50, I think, Nico. So that was it. So it's 100%. 100% for Nico.
Nico reads him like a book.
They're the stats that matter, would have thought, to owners who are spending all that money on yearlings. But anyway.
I don't think it does, because people just continue to buy these horses off with these people all the time, and it's not just him. So, people love burning money.
Correct, right?
Anyway, it was a pretty fat week, and even T-Dogs Noonan off the bench. Donald Sunday, Tar-Heel Blue, flirted with a bit of...
What did he do? What did he tip it off the noms? Did he tip it off the noms?
Pretty much.
Freak.
Must have been when the acceptance has just come out from the show.
He's slipping because he doesn't normally need the noms. He's pre-noms.
Pre-noms is usually his go. Tell you what, it was a barnstorming win, Uncle Bryn. We got the replay. It was a one-horse affair. Have a look at Uncle Brynny.
Who's looping them and takes the lead early in the straight at the 150. Uncle Bryn goes for home. 3 lengths
Soft
in
win.
front.
Hands and heels.
Hang
on, he's
He pulled the stick late.
You got no idea how hard. My stupid sister, who I call a sister clause, she shows up once a year and takes him to the thing and fills up the trolley. 329 for that stupid thing, and I literally had to dump it and hide it for it not to come home with us.
Oh, so that gift's under the tree? It's coming.
No, that one's not coming. But the 3 back caves I had to put together last night and finished at midnight putting back caves together for the Christmas in November for sister clause. Holy crap! Spoiled them.
That wasn't Uncle Bryn. That was Walt's horse riding a toy horse. I might get one of those for Piper for Chrissy. But it was a one-act affair. It was just so soft, Uncle Bryn. But I don't know how you have so much time to put all that stuff together. Well, you need to get
15
on the drink.
seconds. You go video, upset DK, go meld them together, bang. 15 seconds.
What are the highlights of the week or the talking points of the week? P. Moody spray on B. McDougall. What do you think, Walt? Obviously, jockey manager.
No,
spraying jockeys on the race report. Was it too much?
It was too much, and you got to expect it to get out. I know he blew up that it won't. That's just how it is these days, isn't it? So it only takes one, and then it's all over. But I thought there was positives and negatives to it. It shows that what his plan behind it was, what he's trying to work out what this horse is. He gave the jockey a plan. He didn't execute it. He was upset with it. I like it that he's upset because too many of them put jockeys on, blasé, no real plan with the horses. They seem to go round and round. We're looking at them frustrated, but I don't even think the trainer really knows. A lot of the time. So at least it shows that Moody's
knows what he's doing.
Well, he's having a crack. He understands. He's trying to inform his owners of his plan, what he's trying to do, and then gets upset because it does take a lot of effort, and not just his effort, a team effort to get a horse to a race and trying to progress. And when it's sort of completely they go against what you want to do, of course you're going to get angry. But you just got to package it up a little bit.
How does it happen? Obviously, clear-cut instructions. It sounds like Moods obviously very frustrated. We want you to push forward, and then he doesn't. Is it just a brain fade and just switches off? Because
we probably know jockeys and that they're a lot better than most, but you tend to get their pattern. And certain times a year they switch off. Certain races, I don't think there's anything untoward in it most of the time. It's a lot of the time it's the personality of the rider. Some of them do just go on the merry-go-round more than others, and I think that. That's why it's so hard to pick jockeys these days if you're a trainer, I think. If it depends what you want to get out of them, but there's not too many that actually deliver two instructions the majority of the time. So it's a balancing act. But you can see why he was angry. He was probably just went 10% too far. Otherwise, I thought it was a positive.
DK, 2 bobs worth?
Oh, I thought it was ordinary, very ordinary. I mean, he puts C. Heffel on his horses. Can you imagine him spraying a female on the post-race report like that? And this is a typical trainer. Blame everyone else, blame everything else. So that horse was dual accepted in a 2,000 metre maiden on Friday at Seymour, and in that open 3-year-old on Saturday at Cranbourne, right? Friday, it went up 2-1 in its right race on a big track, nice big field, nice genuine tempo. All it had to beat was the other equal 2-1 favourite who was none from 20, Celtic Glory, or on a nice big track, a big gangly horse, or put it in Cranbourne in the open 3-year-old where it's $17 chance, big gangly horse around a tight turning track, small field, probably muddling tempo. Where do you think he ran it? You know, that horse should have been in. It drew beautifully at Seymour. It's going to be have a nice run, big spacious new track, everything like that. And he puts it, no, we won't run it there. We'll put it in the worst race for it. And then it all went tits up. So, I mean, blame McDougall. He said put in a free-flying position. He didn't ride it like it was, there's only 2 free-flying positions in that race, leader and outside leader. And he didn't ride it like he was told to put it outside leader to me. He tried to slide in, he just missed. Then the anchors went out as soon as he said, I'll try and get some cover. But I thought, very poor placement there. That all should have been in the maiden at Seymour on Friday, and he copped his right whack from putting it in the wrong race on Saturday.
Oh, there it is. Nico, you got anything to add, or are you happy with that?
That was more than 2 bob. That was about $1.30.
Yeah, DK's really fired up there. Well, looking at the putting form data, just looking at the race shape, the horse has gone to the 623 lengths below to the 600. So maybe he does have a foot to stand on, given how slow they went in the proactive ride. He probably could have used, given he probably wouldn't use a lot of petrol.
But that was from about the 1600 to the 6. Right? Yeah. So it's like a lot of our races. They go early, they have a good look early, then they say, well, position up. And then so Froggy had a good look early, find the front, make sure I let him know I want the front. Then he threw big anchors out, But as soon as he went to throw the anchors out was when McDougall made that decision, I'll grab a hold, But they did, like that horse, that got to be savvy. That got to be savvy at Moe on the backup the Saturday before. I think they went out like 10 lengths above. So it's first half of the race, 7 days apart. First portion of the race, like 30-something lengths difference week to week. It's just crazy what you've got to put up with.
Same with Dunkell. He was the same coming out of the Moonee Valley Maiden.
Moonee Valley Maiden. How much slow has he gone early?
Stacks.
It's a proper horse. It's a proper top-class horse. I'm calling it now. Dunkell.
Quickest closing splits of the meeting. Old Dunkell there.
Worst place horse I've ever seen in my life, both at starts, but agree. It's out of the box, that horse.
Jeez, I reckon we need DK off the 2-week freshen up more often. He's come up
Dennis
beautifully.
Lilly. He's coming out about the 4th row of the grandstand, steaming him.
That's what he needs.
Carl
just needs his run space.
Brett Lee.
Much better content.
Got a hole in his head like Brett Lee, the dog.
Tell you what's outstanding is Scran of the week this week. At Trackscran on Twitter. Send in your best track food. The winner here, just by TKO, is roast pork.
That looks
and
like
veggies.
the desk we're sitting at now. I'm calling a bluff here.
No, it's
that could be
something my place.
Hey?
You got the membership ticket in the background.
Oh yeah, real tough to put a membership ticket on the table. Hang on.
And there's the salt and pepper sachets. That's roast pork,
you flogged
veggie
them
gravy.
from somewhere.
Gold Coast members. And guess who sent that in? Brody King. Is that your man?
My man Brody.
Gold Coast members upstairs.
Brody wouldn't eat that.
Best part of that's the spuds by the look of it to me, Nico. Don't they look any good?
I just get jealous looking at all these race clubs that do all this stuff for, the punters out there. In Victoria, we get nothing.
If you took your own roll in there, that would be incredible. Just grab your own and make your own roll at the table. That's what I do there.
Roast roll and then mash the spud in there. Yeah. Outstanding. $11.50 Brody King this week's winner.
That is good, $11.50.
Gold Coast members, it's
$11.50 you pay for a toasty down here.
That was cooked a week ago. Yeah.
There's a lot of pensioners up at the Gold Coast, and Walt's just beating them all at 10 pen bowling.
Literally.
Manscaped, I haven't got the weed whacker because I've just used it. See how clean and how well kept I am. Half an hour ago, I looked like Tom Hanks on Castaway because I've been moving house for the last 4 or 5 days. And without Manscaped, I just couldn't have looked as beautiful as I do today. So make sure you head to manscaped.com, 20% off. Enter Little Birdie and you buy one. Buy one for your old man, for Chrissy. It's really hard. If people have got everything, get them a Manscaped kit. Get the weed whacker and lawnmower, so you get the beak and the ear hair, and you can shave the lot down. It's absolutely outstanding. You're freshly shaved too, Walt. Great to be here with you today.
Off a couple of days ago.
All right, today's show's going to be a beauty. Is Donna's good?
I thought that was it. I thought it was.
Is going to be a beauty.
Hey, yeah, that's the show. I think we'll send the tips out via Twitter, and that's it. That's the most interesting part done.
Hang on.
We've got a couple of tips.
He's gone quiet. What happened?
Donnie's been on fire. His little shorty went off completely. So if he bets they go off, he loves a female rider. He almost got Kathy home yesterday at $16. The Don,
didn't she? But yeah.
On that horse Felix that went off super late. But he did miss one. He missed that horse Red Car down at Victoria. So Donnie does miss them in Victoria. So if Donnie's horses go to Victoria, you can get the prices before Donnie gets them. Sleep at the wheel.
That was a big miss.
Big miss, that one. Johnny Walter, you're going to have a look at Kambla, the gong. Hopefully they bring out that big gong and play it on Thoroughbred Central. It's one of the highlights of the year, I think, the big gel gong. Hey?
Are you serious?
That's one of the tackiest things I've ever seen in a racetrack.
What about, yesterday I asked someone about the Villiers. I was like, what's the Villiers on now? There's like, 3 weeks, but it's now called the Ingham, and it's worth, don't quote me because I haven't checked it, $3 million.
No, it's not.
The Villiers in 3 weeks' time, so what's that, like a month before Christmas?
No.
Middle of nowhere is worth $3 million. I'm going to
Is
check
it
it
really?
now. I'm going to check it now.
Isn't the Villiers just like a barrier trial for the Doncaster?
Well,
Like you go and win that and you're straight in?
Yeah, it's
Always
just
on the
an
week before
off-season
Christmas,
race.
isn't it?
That's right. It's just an off-season, nothing race.
Well, it used to be a Group 2 for 500,000.
Yeah, you think like Brutality or something like that will, be hard to beat in it. Something like that. I don't know. And $3 million apparently. Used to be at Hawkesbury, didn't it? Now is it still at Hawkesbury or is it moved?
No, it's at Randwick, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm going to try and find it.
Far east. That's a lot of freight there. $3 million.
Well, this thing's worth $1 million. I see the sprint race, which is a dead set Wednesday race. It's 300,000. It's just out of control.
Anyway, Walt, you need a lift at Kambla. You haven't had a collect in the last couple of weeks, so you're on notice.
Oh, Jesus.
T-Dogs.
No, this is why I still like that. And I'll get to it. Like the best result possible was Pia Rossa, but that's why you got to subscribe, isn't it, Nico? That's why you got to subscribe.
get the ASET. T-Dog's going to have a look at the railway. Terry Leighton, I think he might be busking after last week's tips. No luck there.
$2 million. Sorry, $2 million.
Popped a couple of
1.15 to the winner. 1,600 metre Group 2, the Ingham Stakes.
Crazy.
It's on at the 10th of December at Royal Randwick now, and it's on the same day as the listed Razor Sharp for 160,000, the Christmas Cup for 160,000, but the Ingham Stakes is worth $2 million.
And then that lets them tax higher rates.
What will
it's
that
just
be,
crazy. I
benchmark
just don't
88?
understand why you have to just zip it up by that much money.
It's just insanity. 99% of the industry's cast. $2 million for one horse. Good luck.
Anyway, T-Dog's Noonan, and we'll be looking at the railway and a couple of other Ascot races. Terry will be back next week. He's a busy man this morning, so couldn't get him on the show. But T-Dogs knows the form inside out. Tell you what, it's a sick watch, Ascot. Some of the rides are just terrible.
If you don't show that replay, I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
Which one?
Deluded or whatever, devoted or whatever it's called.
Devoted.
Yeah, you got to show it.
What about that thing Terry blew up about? The thing at Northam or Albany or something? Where his horse got smacked on the nose at the 100, like dead set by the jock, charging at it, was going to give it windburn. Protest dismissed. It was just, that was like the old Perth stewards, that horrible result they gave a couple of years ago.
Oh, well, the thing
Perth racing,
the grey thing. That was a shocker.
Yeah.
There's been a couple. Yeah, there's
been a few weird protests.
That was shocking.
Our lay of the week, we got that sausage rod, Miss Kentucky, ran 5th. So we
about time you stopped doing the blue colours.
What's that?
Yeah, we've laid off Godolphin.
Yeah, we're going to Perth. So I think we're 2 in a row.
I think they're putting a couple on over there.
Miss Kentucky, so beat the Doctor's been on fire.
Are we going to lay Cascadian next week?
Didn't we take on Animo Stakes Day?
I think it was the day he dropped off it. I think it was the day. I think he tipped it.
I sort of liked it until Nico's man in the yard just went, no, you boys half liked it.
No, yeah, I said it was gone because it was the first time I thought it would win.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
if the tipsters on my show like one, I can't go out and then say, well, I want to lay it. When some other grubby joints will do that, but that's not us.
No, you just lay it privately and just fill up. Yeah, that's right. You just don't tell anyone about it. And you send me the videos of chopping your crutch. Yeah, I like it. But no pants on in those videos. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing all around.
We're going to go back to the blue. We're going to lay Old Flame in the Gong.
If you get this, I'll give you one of my medals this week. If you get a Godolphin horse beat anywhere.
No, that Old Flame. It's like the fake.
Well,
it's
got most blue with the red cap. Yeah, that'll do.
I'll tell you what, TopSport steamers are swinging like a rusty gate, completely out of form. Nico, Ballarat Cup Day. It's been snowing. It's been really bad weather down in Victoria. It's going to be awful down there, isn't it?
Dead set 40 degrees here, and I see BZ with the jacket on, the snow jacket, 9 degrees on the
on
beanie Twitter or something.
It was freezing this morning.
It's bloody cold, Walden. Even us blokes in here, like, the nights are getting down to 6 and 7 degrees at the moment. Like, that's 2 weeks from summer.
I think on Monday at Ballarat, it's supposed to be 11 degrees. Like, that's the top.
But
Saturday is going to be all right, but it's going to rain. So
I got sunburnt driving to bowling the other day, and these blokes are freezing. It's unbelievable.
be one nice day tomorrow, Nico. One nice day, I think, and then it's back to crap.
hopefully it dries out a bit, that track, but it's supposed to get a bit of rain on Saturday.
Heavy.
So.
I think it's going to be heavy. You can lock it in, can't you?
It's a really good meeting. Like, it'd be a great meeting if it was a good 4, but a heavy track just could throw in all sorts of spanners and that.
TopSport are going to be betting to win 5,000 on the rail. So make sure you're betting your Ascot stuff with them. Also, the Beat the Doctor promos, and you should just be betting with them. They're Aussie owned and local. So support the Aussie bookmakers there. Nico's Mounting Hard Mail, as I said, on fire at the moment, $99 till the end of December. Gee, I tell you what, you're getting a cult following, Nico. Every time you tip a winner, they're just all over you on the Twitter sphere, and it's well earned and deserved. I think the first race you're going to have a look at here, Nico, is race 5.
Well, I've decided, since DK potted me for tipping all the favourites, we're going 2 at double figures, just so you're happy.
As if he's going to be happy.
He's never
I've got you in my sights here. I got you in my sights here.
I knew you were going to have lined up here. He's going to have another crack. I know what for.
Ballarat race 5. Ballarat race 5. The E-Cycle Solutions McKellar Mile 1,600 metre race. Our Dante's favourite here, $5.50, unanimous $7.50, Maximus Prime $8, Beltoro $8.50, Spanish Kiss $9, $9.50 Prowling. The Cunning Fox. It went awful in the Greys race. $12, Ain't No Deal Done, $13, Typhoon Harmony, $14, Star of Chaos, $15, Court Deep, $17, with Celine Gaudray claiming 3, Mar Eustace. That's Nico's camp, and this is the horse that we're going to have a look at. It's in the red here, and it's at Bendigo, just outside leader, and just getting punched along there. Tell us why you like it, Nico.
Yeah, it looks half gone here. I thought, sort of watching the race live, I thought, he's going to sort of get caught by the back markers. The horse back to his inside in the Kinedna Juniper colour Secret Glamour come out and won yesterday. And he kind of just fights her off here. She looks like the winner, I would have thought, at this point in the race, and he just kicks back. He's tough, this horse. He's really tough. He's won sort of about 6 from 20. He's unbeaten on wet tracks. This was on a heavy 8 that day. I think he's come back in really good order, and sort of you look back through his form last preparation, when he can get up on speed over a trip around a mile, and especially on the wet tracks, he just seems like he can keep rolling. He's got a really good sort of fast, sustained gallop. I think they'll go pretty quick here. He'll have to cross from 15. She'll probably sit outside lead, maybe 1 out, 1 back, maybe even lead. I just thought he was way over the odds at $17 in a race where a few of these probably have more talent than him, but they're going to be suspect on a wet track. He's probably the horse that you could really label as he's going to handle the track, going to sit up on speed, which is always a good place to be on Ballarat Cup Day and local camp as well. He never runs a bad race, this horse. He's super consistent. So I thought $17 was a very big price.
And you get the, Nico, the full claim there. She only claimed 1.5 at Bendigo, and you get the full 3 there on Saturday. So that's a little tick for an on-pacer as well for her.
Yep, so he gets him with 57 kilos. Celine hasn't been firing the last 12 months. She's going at 5%, but her last 50, actually, she's rose that to 10%.
And she did have 6 months off as part of the naughty Airbnb thing, didn't she?
And her last, 5 rides, she's rode 2 winners and a second, and then the other 2 are duck eggs. But so she might be
she's
getting a bit of form.
40% is what you really mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's all we're going off, the last 5 rides. She's absolutely fine. But she knows, I reckon she jumped this horse out. She's been riding a lot for the stable and a lot of track work and that. She's had the ride last start, so she knows the horse. I just think he's way over the odds at $17. Wouldn't be shocked if the market found him given the map and his wet track form.
Well, you found it. That's the most important thing. I thought Beltoro would be a rough danger just squeezing the form here, but
can't go in the wet.
Can't go in the wet, and he's got D. Oliver on it, so it's just absolute pen job.
Who trains it?
Bobby Hickmott.
No one more gone. Poor old Robbie. I know people know.
I'll put my hand up.
No one more gone. Poor Robbie Hickmott. Cannot train a winner.
Walt's just
I'll
bowling
fight him for
against
that title.
40-year-olds at the Gold Coast, so he's in the final for Gone. All right, so we're going to go value hunting, court deep. Celine Gaudray, I tell you what, that's a cover job if I've ever seen one. But Ma Eustace, and showed some real fight there at Bendigo. So I can vaguely see why you're kicking up for that, Nico. Let's have a quick look at the Ballarat Cup. We'll just go market only. Don't know if you have had a good look at this one. But the favourite here is Banker's Choice, $4. This horse seems to just get backed every start. $4.20 a tissue, Grand Slam $10, Polygrey $12, Lord Vadavodstock $12, Foxy Frida $13, Cerileo Miss is $13, and then Future Score's been the one they've backed $34 into $13. From memory, it was back last start as well, heavily. And then you got horses like Bermuda's at $14 and much better the rest. Flash Feeling, our horse, Nico, $21 there. So this looks absolutely wide open, I would have thought. I thought Lord Vadavodstock was really good last start. A Tissue's a funny one off its grand final. Nice little tip with the Little Birdie tip sheet, free tip sheet every Wednesday and Saturdays. Found the map who had run behind a Tissue. So any thoughts here, Nico? Ballarat Cup?
Tough race. I thought the horse that's come out was probably going to be my tip. Long Villas, is it? He ran in the 5 Diamonds and sort of wasn't far from Uncle Bryn. Similar run sectionally, but he's come out. So it's really just Banker's Choice coming through the weight for age races with the Crystal Mile, and then he ran in the Champion Stakes last start where he was pretty unlucky, to be fair. He wasn't beaten all that far and probably should have finished a bit closer. I reckon he should have run 4th in that race. When you consider that, he would have beat Home on Thunderstruck and Animo. I think if he had his clear air. That's the problem here. He's drawn barrier number 1 and he's going to need a pretty good ride from John Allen, but he is a very good wet tracker, and it does look like a horse that's, I think that was his first run at 2,000 metres here in Australia last start. He looks like a horse who's going to be suited to that distance, and then it's him v. the Wallers, really. A Tissue's flying. Her last start win was enormous there in the Matriarch. J-Mac to Ollie, probably not a positive for that horse, but given how, I don't think she was the most genuine last start. She sort of loomed up to him, stopped, and was very much helped by J-Mac over the line there. I wouldn't fully trust her, but at $4.20, she seems about a right sort of price. And then Polygrey is obviously the horse that has to come into it on the wet track. She sort of looked back through her 4 miles prep. She'd run second to Zaki on a heavy 8. So that's probably going to mean something in a race like this. Her run in the Matriarch was a bit plain, but I would assume onto a real wet track by this stage of the day, this is going to be in her wheelhouse. I did see an interesting market move on TopSport, 34 into 13 for Future Score, the local. Can be a race that's dominated by the locals this cup, even at long odds. So maybe where there's smoke, there's fire there.
The deeper you look into this race, the more prickly it gets, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was really tricky. I think it'll probably be one race on the day where I'll be probably avoiding. Didn't really see much of an edge.
Little swerve job. All right, we'll push on to race 9, the Hertz Tonks Plate, 1,200 metre race here, and Do Your Punk, Carleen Heffel, claiming 2's favourite here, $4.20. Snapper is $4.60. Current $8.50. Nicoloni, Vito, 12 into 9, and then Crestani's 10 into 9.50. King of Hastings 11, and you can get much better the rest. We're going to have a quick look at Crestani here. It's in the light blue and yellow with a little star on its head there in the middle. And Vespertine is the widest, wins the race. Tell us why you like Crestani here, Nico.
Well, this is a pretty strong race. This is a listed class event. Sort of beats a few key rivals here that run again. Shelby 66 to the inside of him there. Vespertine's obviously flying this prep. I thought his run at Geelong prior was very good. He didn't have any luck first up at Caulfield. He had 54 that day, drops to 51.5 after the claim here. And I think Ballarat's a track that'll probably suit him. He's very effective on the big tracks. Down the straight, he's very good. Geelong, he's run very well previously. That seems to be where they try and keep him to these big, wide open spaces. So I think that's going to be a big tick for the horse. It looks set to peak here, probably 4th up. I went back and watched his heavy track runs. He had a heavy track run early in his career at Mornington and probably should have won. And then he had one at Sale as well, where I think he ran 3rd or 4th, but he was in the complete wrong part of the track. The 2 horses that battled out the finish came down the outside fence and he was up the middle, so he was just in the wrong lane there. He's got some really good form on soft tracks. That one last start was on a soft 7, horse below the minimum on a heavy track, very well sort of exposed form. Him and Do Your Punk both get below the minimum with these apprentices on the wet. I reckon the market probably keeps Do Your Punk favourite with given his sort of recent efforts of winning his last 2, and I think they have a good look at Crestani. I think $9.50 probably won't last. I was happy to have something on him each way. I think he's going to just be in the right spot, probably stalking the speed, one out, one back, and he's just going to have every possible chance. It's just whether he's good enough on the day. But I think he'll look the winner at some stage in the race.
What would be the one little niggle in the back of your mind back in that sort of, would it be the jockey or might be the trainer, Nico, the trainer? You got the stats there. How's Pat Carey go?
This is his banner horse. Look, this is his horse.
All right. So of the five winners he's had from his last 150 runners, this one's won what? 3 or 4 or all of them? 2, 3.
I reckon he would have won 1 or 2 of them.
1 or 2. Mm.
So this is the stable star, which
right,
they can tend to defy things.
They
like you see with
obviously. Yeah. But
another trainer I found that's gone at 2% their last 50. But that was Bus and Young were going at 4% their last 50. And now they've jumped to 12 in a week. So maybe I'm going to play Paddy into form as well.
Oh, well, just by mentioning him. So I'm helping you out. And you want to back a Robbie Hickman horse on the weekend, may as well back it too, because I can play him into form.
No, he doesn't go in the wet at all. And another horse that doesn't go in the wet is Snapper. So it looks a good lay in that.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really understand Snapper being 460. He won one of the lowest rating races of the carnival, like a benchmark 80. And this horse comes with a listed race where he's got the same form. He gets in better at the weights. He's shown over his career he's a better horse, and he's double the price. Yeah, I think he's going to run a terrific race, Crestani.
How's that was Sydney, wasn't it? Snapper was 50s into nearly $11 or in the teens.
Speed, models, auto maps.
And he had a couple of forgives. So if you dug deep enough into the form, you could have found Snapper at 50 to 1.
What about the last 100 where he's just the Jets kicked in too? You would have been happy there, where the other old mate was coming after him, and then the hyperdrive kicked in and he just took off the winner. Jesus Christ.
It's like Daytona when you get a time extension, or Super Mario when you hit that mushroom.
He had the mushroom up his sleeve. You didn't know. He had the burger up his sleeve. Off he took.
Oh, you could find it if you looked hard enough, which makes you sick when
it was one of those races, wasn't it? Straight races.
All right, if you want to find horses with the mushroom or the star up there, puntingform.com.au is the best form guide in the business. Absolutely outstanding. Essential data and their benchmarks. It's so simple and easy to use. Lives in the cloud. You can't delete it. All your notes stay up there too. So you just log on and off, and the boys from Punting Form do a great job there. So make sure you support them and try it out if you want to take your form to the next level. Nico's working with it beautifully. All right, let's talk Kambla Grange, the Warra. I have no idea what this race is. It's 1,000 metre.
Is that what it's called?
Lickety split jobby. You picked it. $3.60.
Well, I didn't know it had a name. What is that? The Warra.
Illawarra?
Yeah, it must be.
Illawarra Steelers. Rod Wishart.
Yeah, here he comes down the outside. Rod Wishart.
Malkovic's favourite, 390 into 360. Dragonstone, 550. Bruckner from the Abyss. Last seen in the Coolmore, $7. Athelric, $10. A very fine red, $10. Juan Diva, 11. Remlat's Gem being spec'd, 18 into 15. Kilago for Brycey Hayes, big up and about, $17. American President, that's one of your horses, Walt, $17. Kalos, 18. Wisdom of Water, Likes of Ilk, $26. And then much better the rest. Going to have a look at a couple of replays. I picked these just to terrorise Walt. So this is Malkovich and Dragonstone. Malkovich burning up in front. Dragonstone out the back there.
Like he's come up to me, Dragonstone. Both his runs around in Melbourne was pretty average, and then I think he's like a little wet tracker. I don't think he's flying. The mighty Malkovich will do this again on Saturday. It'll put itself up in front and do its best to battle on, but I think that's kind of what he is. He's susceptible late in all these races these days. He's definitely found his mark. The mighty Malkovich. What other replays have you got for
We're going to have a look at the Bruckner trial. So, as we said, it's been in the Abyss, so it's in the Annabelle colours. And
the Aquas colours? Or?
Yeah, the Aquas, sorry.
Yeah, so it's outside the leader. You can talk about this one, because I didn't really have much of an opinion on this horse.
Well, he sort of he goes pretty keen in this trial. What do you...
He's an interesting horse, because his last running split Home Affairs and Artorias in a Coolmore of, last year, not even this spring. He come up in the autumn and had a trial, and then sort of pulled up with a lot of issues. And the mail I sort of got was he might not ever sort of see the track again. But here he is. They've obviously got him backfiring. I would assume he wouldn't want too firm of a track, so that might be something you'd have to look into there on Saturday, just how that track's going to play. But, gee, that was a good trial, sort of coming away from him late. I just watched it before, and there doesn't look too many issues there with the way he sort of stretched out and put a margin on him. Horse with a heap of talent. Can get a bit sort of warm in the yard, so maybe that'll be a bit of a guide to sort of how fresh he is there on Saturday and how forward. If he's, nice and relaxed, that's probably a good sign. If he's a bit on his toes and starting to sweat up, he may need the run, but horse with stacks of ability.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a fizzy type of horse, so that was Jojo as a man running into second in that trial.
Yeah, he came out and flopped, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I just I'm happy to take that horse on to a certain degree if it beats you.
Doesn't seem a 1,000-metre horse, Bruckner.
Hoping they go quick. My opinion is actually one of my pet hates is people who put horses in races that are like 10 kilos under the weight range, which is our man Bryce Hayes here in the mighty Key Largo. I kind of liked it first up and touched base, and he said, it was not ready. So it's a sneaky sort of horse down in the weights that if they go quick here, inside draw, it's going to need all the luck in the world. But if it gets it, it can sort of suck, expose, sprint for 200 with these horses. I've got no problem with that, especially with the 52 kilos. I think it'll run a race, Key Largo, and Brycey will probably be dancing around with the 165,000 jumped in and then work out he just got 20 benchmark points for the pleasure. But I think it'll run really well, Key Largo. And the other one is my nemesis at the moment, young Rachel King on Kalos. Just thought it was a silly price here that I think it started like $4.60 last start down the straight in Melbourne in a nice enough race, and thought that that draw might work out okay for it here. It looks like there's enough pressure rolling forward. It should just be second line, maybe third line, wide with cover. And it's a sort of horse that can build off that, come down the middle, sustain a strong run. And whereas Key Largo will be dodging for a gaps, and if it gets it, it could look like Far Lap. If not, it may go to the line hard held. But I thought it was like a nice 2-horse play mid-teens compared to taking 360 Malkovich, he's a little bit beaten up. He'll be there and he'll bob, and would you be surprised if he won? No. Would you take $3.60? Not in a million years. There's not too many horses in this race I kind of want to find, and I thought they were, Team Blue, their horses just keep backing up, don't they? Just keep flying, the Godolphin team. And Brycey is on a heater. He got 2 winners there at one of the worst meetings I've ever seen at Goulburn the other day, got the lot, and he'd be one for the stats, man. He'd be like 5% for the last 2 years and 40% for the last 2 weeks too. Up you go, Brycey.
He's back, Brycey. Good to see. Kalos, an interesting one there. You got Jamie Carr, Rachel King. So the horse won't know the difference.
Well, you don't even have to. Well, it's right. It's the same. So it's at least you don't have to worry about the jockey change. It's Rachel Carr off, Jamie King on.
Oh, I like that. Just Dutch a couple of roughies there. Let's have a look at the Gong here. What's this worth? 3 million?
20 million.
20 million?
Yeah, if you win the Gong and you win the abseil and you win whatever all the other ones. I think if you win all of them, like
it's Hunter,
like
the Gong.
It's like Monopoly. If you get them all, you get like you can put a hotel on and you get plenty. I don't know. What was Marzu? Didn't it get like a $4 million bonus for not winning a race?
I know.
That was the best.
I think it was like $3 million bonus.
Yeah, there should be a bonus for these races, because if you go into Wollongong and come out alive, you should get a bonus.
But did it even win a race?
No, hasn't won a race since the Brisbane.
But then
Carnival.
Picked up a $3 million bonus.
Yeah, he kind of won on default because he was beaten in all the races, but he was the only horse that ran in pretty much all the races, him and Eduardo.
Why was Private Eye not eligible or something? Or?
Private Eye hadn't run in enough of them.
Yeah.
So that was why he didn't get in.
Yeah, too good.
So Marzu just pretty much was, I think he only had to beat Eduardo home that day and he was pretty much guaranteed the prize. So
yeah, good on him.
At least it was rich tax. The big blue giant had to fork it out, so at least they had to
I'd love to know the deals there, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I've got a rough idea what it is.
Has anyone ever answered the question that what's a race worth like 10 mil that the odds and evens funds?
Where is odds and evens?
I know it's been asked a lot. How's the odds and evens going? Is it still funding it? And I've never seen it sort of tackled. Anyway.
It's going about as good as DK went in COVID, I would have thought. Old Flame is the favourite in the time-honoured Gong, with that little gong that they pull out in the mounting yard. Can't wait for that. That is the highlight of the year. $5 Old Flame. That's going to be to beat the Dr. Lay. Tommy Berry, barrier 19. Good luck, son. We're not with you, or definitely I'm not. So egg on face potentially for me. Brutality, $7.50, second favourite. Hope in Your Heart, $7.50. And then you're starting to look at horses like Rio Dini, $9.50 into $9. And it's going to be double
figures.
figures.
Is it Tissues in Melbourne as well, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the Ballarat Cup as well, so I'm interested to see. Not sure which way. We'll try and figure out that later
I think
today.
there's been money for it there, but anyway.
Oh, she's just come out, the tissue. 10.28.
Out of Melbourne or out of
Breaking
Sydney?
news. Out of Sydney.
Okay, so there's scratching there. So all those prices that I've just read out are absolutely useless to everyone. Beautiful.
Not too bad. 10%. Only 10 and there's, Jesus Christ, there'd be 140 on the board, so it wouldn't be too bad, surely.
Old Flame is the first replay that we're going to have a look at. It's Flemington.
So this was 1,400, right? Just in behind. He gave it a really good ride this day. Is this the race? Turath failed, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was a weird
Poland.
race because a lot of these horses were dry trackers, and then the rain came, and it sort of just a few of them just did nothing. Like Crosshaven, Turath, Ironclad comes out of this, and he somehow ran fourth in the Cranbourne Cup and didn't fill a place for us, but really high rating race this too as well. Fast race early, and he just kind of powered away from them. So
yeah, I sort of looked at it as like a high rating race that looked like garbage to me watching.
Yeah, like went quick. A few of them didn't handle the track, and a few of them probably weren't ready for that sort of high pressure early in their preps. And he was sort of the fit horse who handled the conditions and had J-Max, so he's probably made to look a lot better than what the win was.
Agree. And now he swaps J-Mac for Berry, 14 to 16, gate 19. I'm agreeing with you. Good luck.
Bin.
Oh, well, I'm not taking whatever it is, $3.50 or whatever it'll be after the scratching.
To run, yeah, so we'll be laying that one to finish top 2. Brutality is the next one. We're going to have a look at the Hunter replay. And Brutality's back on the fence in the pink and blue, getting scrubbed along. Beautiful Valana, given absolute 20 out of 10 ride from Nash here, and then poor old Timmy on in the Congo up front.
Thought he was home.
And you can just still see Brutality just sort of chopping along here. Back on the
Look at Skylab too in the Perry colours down the outside.
I was on it at 60s this day, but then they back it up 7 days later in this race. Not 7 days later, a couple of weeks later.
It can't be 20s if bloody Brutality's $7. It's a better run, isn't it?
100 times better run. And it was first up, whereas Brutality's had 3 or 4 runs. But, geez, it's hard to catch that stable. Holy heck. Skylab, that is. Brutality, I don't know what the heck they've been trying to do. Obviously been sprinting really well. Does that transfer to a mile when that's where his best form's been previously? I don't know. It's just been so weird what they've done with this horse. They've like held it back, sprint. Maybe they've held it back for this race. It does look like a plan. I saw Reggie go, don't worry about it. It'll jump out of the ground in the gong after the race. But hard horse to hang your hat on, especially on dry ground, which it should be.
Blinkers on. Yeah,
that does scare me from that stable. Just I know it's it's always game day, isn't it, when they put the blinkers on that crew? But Jesus, it's going to be closer to last than first. The mighty Reggie aboard. You want to be getting a price.
I like one with your man on top, Roy Deeney.
I'm the same, and we've talked about this before. When Gay's got the control of the race, so you've got Rachel Carr on Surf Dancer and Timmy on Riadini drawn literally next to each other. You would assume they'll work it out whether Surf Dancer takes the front and Timmy just follows, or Riadini takes the front and Surf Dancer sits outside, which scares me just because she goes a bit quick in that position compared to most. But you would think they get full control of this. Riadini's not beaten up at all. I should know the sprint race it comes out of.
This looks superb set up for Riadini. It could be in career best form here. So it ran in the Sydney Stakes, not suited, beaten 2.5, rocketing by in the Congo, all that weird form, and then in the Nature Strip behind Private Eye, it wasn't really suited there. Shouldn't have been there. It's only got beaten 3.2, and then it just kept coming to the line behind Marzu and Private Eye.
I thought they might miss it a bit more. I think they did go up sort of mid-teens, and it has been trimmed up a little bit, but I still think $10 is, you just go down the field, like apart, like Old Fame's not beaten up, but stepping up in grade for me, I think it's a big harder task. Most of the horses are beaten up. Love Tap's coming out of the greys. Just Folk. Kerwin's Lane, don't know how the hell it won that race the other day at Hawkesbury. This is much deeper. Hope in Your Heart is the other horse I like. Absolutely airborne, home track. If you're gonna, if you want to play in this race, I think it's wise to play.
Hope in Your Heart.
Yeah, well, the midfield probably coming down the middle horse and the leader. Skylab's the other horse I went looking for, but just how do you back it second up? Winona going to be probably last the inside off a run like that. Very hard. They sort of kept coming back to these two. Oscar Zulu was a good win at Goulburn the other day, but really well ridden. Cold Crush has come out and won since, but still, what's that form? Brutality we've talked about. Steely's not up to this class. You just sort of, by default, I keep saying Rustic Steel doesn't run a mile. It keeps winning over a mile every week to shit me, but I keep saying it doesn't run a mile. I'm going to keep saying it doesn't run a mile. I'm going to die with a lie and the rest of them.
Did Tracy Bartley get the field extended for Kiss Some?
Is that what's happened here? Is it going to run?
I don't think it's going to. Well, it's coming out of the Champions Mile against bloody Alligator Blood and Tuvalu.
It's not hopeless here, but it's going to be last and widest. What the hell do you do with Kiss Some?
They should just stable change to Chris Waller and then get Fly Frankie in to ride it, and then it'll be in the race. Kiss Some. That's a big price.
Why are you so negative?
Hey?
Is it just why are you going to be so negative? Why?
Well, this is what you do if you want a horse that you like in the race.
Mate, I found it hard enough to even look at these races at Kambla on Saturday. They're that bad. I had to go through this field, actually try and work out which horses are alive, which ones need the bloody resuscitator, and now you want to throw in one-liners about extending fields.
Well, you should have just rang me, and I would have just said Roy Daniels tomorrow.
Well, and then we got TRAV sitting on the sidelines here that I've been watching it on the screen the whole time, like chomping at the bit, waiting to talk.
Can't wait to talk about it.
They have extended the field at Ascot, or have they not, or something?
What's that for?
For that horse that he devoted, the one we got the replay of.
Well, it's leading to me. Well, it's making me believe that PVL should just control all of racing because then we just have bigger fields.
He doesn't control Victoria. Sorry, I think he's got a solid grip on most of Australia currently, but I don't think Victoria at the moment. But he's a trendsetter. I
got a sneaky roughie here.
Hold on the phone.
We've been talking about brutality, Riadini. He was only a length off him in the Nature Strip Stakes. Then we're talking about Kiss Some. Well, he beat at home in the Champions Mile. He's set to peak here, 4th up. JP goes aboard. Barrier 4. Colding is going to run a huge race
on the dry track
on Saturday.
Wow.
I think he's really ready to do something. Just got way too far back there last start. He had Frankie on the start before and just sat at the back and somehow got on heels, sitting last. Anyway, you go back to his forms of the last preparation, he peaked sort of later in the campaign when he went up to Queensland. I think he's probably looking for 2,000, but Josh Parr's going to put him in a good spot here from Barrier 4. I think you got to be on it. $26 in your exotics.
I love G'ing him up because I'm like, oh, well done. Did you just take the ride for Waller or did you just, or did you actually commit to the horse? And he's like, oh, I said, oh, it's good they put you on the 5th.
It's got a chance.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. And he normally tries to lift these horses just to piss me off. So it's like a length and a half, just trying to prove me wrong. So you factor that in, you're probably getting double the odds anyway. And he is up and about, Josh, off the back of his New Zealand, whatever the hell that was.
I'm not sure. Colding 59 kilos with that with.
It's that sort of race. And what price? It's got to be 30 to 1 or something. Is it? What price is it?
Yeah, it's 30 to 1.
Yeah.
Do weights matter, DK? We saw a Gold Trip win.
He's gone reverse, Harley.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah, that was the. We fell into that in the Melbourne Cup.
Best horse in race, Colding. Actually, he's won the big pin-up races before.
If it was the 2017, yeah, that's right. I think he was the first odds and evens winner there was. Remember when it was at G-Boss, stuck behind? I was in Melbourne. Holy heck, he ran up 14 asses and put 3 on them.
Okay, that was the Kambla Sydney preview. And John Walter did tip Pierre Rosen in his chat room. I missed it. I was moving house. I was sick. So, yeah, if you want the full set from Walt, Sydney stuff, racingwatch.com.au. It's Telegram and it's Discord. All right, let's talk West Coast, Best Coast Racing, Ascot, the Carnival. It's kicked into gear and it's the Railway this weekend. T-Dogs, how you feeling, mate?
Yeah, looking forward to this weekend. It's good to have the Group 1s back, but in WA, it does look a pretty good carnival this year. They've obviously got a few of the Godolphin horses that have come over for the races the next 2 weeks, and some handy 3-year-olds, but I'm still recovering after last week's Scoot. Still recovering after Devoted.
I'm nearly cured for the Absolute Carnival. W Pike, let's just get straight into it because there'll just be points that sort of just roll from the races. The first race that we're going to have a look at is market only. I'm not putting the replay in. I'm going to see it again. Devoted, W Pike. So this is the horse we're talking about. It's on the fringe, or unless they extended the field or a heap of horses to scratch, it's just not going to be in the Railway. So it's open up $3 favourite here in the Carbine Club of WA Stakes over 1,400 metres. $3 looks probably appealing from Barrier 9 if you knew Willie Pike was going to give it a decent ride, I guess. But Billy Ain't Silly, $8. Minx Moment's an interesting one here, $8.50. Adam Durant's taken the horse over, ex-Waller. So big stable change there. And you got Comes a Time, $9. Let's Gallivant, $9. ETA is $10. And then That's the horses in sort of single figures and the chances deep inside the market. But surely Devoted, if they had rode it the way that you suggested on last week's show, it qualifies for the race and it's in the race. But it's just sleepy tactics, just insane.
Yeah, I would sort of go as far as saying inept, but it just was way too negative. The horse was just given too much of a task on a day. It was pretty tough to make ground out wide. You wanted to be back sort of closer to the inside part of the track and on speed. I think gave them a big head start. Yeah, as you said, if he was probably ridden a bit more aggressive early, I thought he could have won the race. Backs up within 7 days, which I don't think will be too much of a problem for this horse because he was going to anyway if he was running in the Railway. Slight reservation is he drops back in trip. I think he's sort of a horse that he's going to hit his best at 16, 1800, sort of stays, at this 1400 metre range. But on class, I think he's got a fair bit on them. Like I'd have him second favourite in the Railway. And I don't think any other horse in this race would be sort of close to that. Got 2 horses, though, on the quick 7-day backup as well, going 1,200 up to 1,400 are worth mentioning here. One of them is It's a Ray Day, whose career peak performance comes at 1,400 metres Ascot sort of this time last year, and just has been ridden a bit too passive his last couple. He's a horse that when he goes forwards, ridden aggressively up on top of the speed, that's sort of when he runs his best races. And comes a time who comes out of the sprint race behind sort of this little test year, Elite Street. He was finding the line really well. A little bit surprised they back him up in this. I thought, he would have just gone on the winter bottom and would have been a chance probably for the top 5 or 6. But they placed him here probably to win. He's the horse the market I think will have a little bit of a look at. I don't know if Devoted will get too much tighter than $3, to be honest, just with his racing pattern. He's still going to have to give them a bit of a start here. And Pikey on from wide draws scares me.
What are we expecting with the track there? Wasn't that sort of the main reason there last Saturday that people were saying it was a bad ride? Like it wasn't a day, it looked hard to make a bit of ground. Are we expecting the same on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it'll even up a little bit more on Saturday, Nico. I'm sort of expecting it won't be as hard and fast. But, you deal with Perth conditions, pretty much what you're going to get. It's going to be quick tempos in some of these bigger races, and you are going to be dealing with a track that's still pretty hard. So by that way, it's still going to be a little bit of an advantage to be up on speed, but I think it'll even out a little bit compared to last week. And if you were good enough, you could still do it. It was just a lot of the races last week were also run at slow tempos, and they were just, a lot of sleepy rides. A lot.
And that's right. Nico, the pattern was well established. Like, I don't know if you watched the RJ Peters. I definitely did. I'd just been at the fish and chip shop and I was absolutely filthy because I followed Tez in on Playing Marika and had Devoted in a junkie multi. So I was just fuming with the ride with Devoted, and then Playing Marika, if you go watch the replay of that, that's one of the biggest car crashes I've ever seen. So I'm not Peter Moody, so I can say whatever I like, but Troy Turner, if there was 2s, he should just be banished out of Ascot for a couple of weeks just to have a good think about himself. Like, all over that horse's mouth and gave it absolutely no chance from barrier 2 when the track pattern's so established. Like, honestly, I can see exactly why Peter Moody is probably borderline addiction to 4X Gold. Like, I'd be on the harder stuff. I'd be on doubles or triples. What's that grouse gin that you like? DK, that 4 pillars stuff.
The 4 pillars,
the Shiraz.
The Shiraz gin.
Doubles or triples of that. After watching Playing Marika last start, and poor Tez, that's probably why he's off this week's show. Like, Playing Marika, if you had to back that, you'd be in the asylum. It's disgusting. Anyway, ran over. I've done my absolute kyber on that clearly, and I think Devoted, you're going to take $3 about that, and he gets to beat up on these other horses. I know that's the negative. This horse would have just been playing in the paddock. They wouldn't have done anything with him, and you probably would have had to take $4 in a bloody Railway T-Dogs if he goes into that race over a mile. Like, I know that's the difference, 1,400 a mile, but he was $4.80 pre-post favourite.
Yeah, I mean, you make a strong case why you can take the $3. I'm just maybe a little bit burnt from last week. I'm struggling to confidently say I want to pull the trigger at the price, just because I think the same situation could happen. Because I just don't know, again, if this is Like, they want him to win because he has to get into the Northerly in sort of 2 weeks' time. But I thought they wanted him to win last week too.
Oh, I'm going to take Roy Dean into that, and I'll have a lot of money. I sound like Azza. I sound like your man.
No one sounds like Azza, mate. No one sounds like Azza. He's in a league of his own.
Let's kick along to race 7 at Ascot, the WA Guineas. Amelia's Jewel 2.15 favourite. TopSport Bustler is $4. All the Kingsmen $7. Snowdome $13. Santorio is $14. Swear to God $19. Linden Lady $21, and Better the rest. Going to have a look at the replay here of W Pike on Linden Lady. It's back last in the yellow and black, only just starting to work itself into the race now. So it's 3 wide. It sort of just takes a hard right-hand turn here and nearly bloody falls over. Or luckily there was nowhere in and around it, but hits the line really nicely here. And Pike, $21, sticks with it, coming out of the Champions Fillies race there.
Yeah, I think she is on the 7-day backup. I think the key to this horse is riding a bit negative. She's sort of horse that finishes off really strong in her races. I think 5 of her 6 starts, she's the fastest last 200 in each race. So she had one flop leading into her last run, which is why she was such a big price there in the Champion Fillies, where she was 3 deep the trip. On a day the rail was out 12 metres, just a horrible setup for her, and she sort of faded out. Last week, though, she just too far back under the race shape. They walked there and, just had too much of a task. But her last 200 was really good. Did a little bit of stats on when Grant and Alana Williams put the blinkers on in group races. It's not something they do very often. I think it's only happened on 10 occasions, but they've hit on 4 of them, and the profit on turnover is very big. It's not something they do very often, the Grant and Alana with the blinkers on. And this is probably, they've lost all the Peters horses. So this is probably their horse that their real project horse for the carnival. They don't really have a better horse than her in the stable. And I just think blinkers on, 7-day backup off that sort of run, and now the huge potential of a fast tempo. The WA Guineas, never a slowly run race. And a lot of these, especially a horse like Snowdome, he's going to be out on his feet, probably coming to the bend. He didn't run 1,400 last start, so no chance of him getting the mile. There's a few in the same boat with him that are going to press forward. I think they'll fall in a hole quick, and she'll be the horse sort of launching late. I just thought at the prices, she's a stupid price. I thought you could get her under single figures. Love the sort of backup from the Champions Fillies. It's been done plenty of times before going into a WA Guineas, and Pike and Grant and Alana, it's an easy combo to find at sort of $21. And as I said, I'm just really interested by the fact that blinkers go on. Amelia's Jewel, I'd say she's the best horse in the race, but I couldn't get her as short as the market. I thought she did have her chance last start to race, sort of beat laced up heels, couldn't beat her. I think getting up to the mile is definitely a tick for the horse. She's screaming out for it now, this preparation. But a fast run mile is still something, she hasn't been to the mile, and a potential fast run mile is still a little query. So, whereas a horse like Linden Lady, who's probably going to find her back, I think could be the real blouser here late. Not convinced on the boys. I sort of went back and looked through Bustler. He's unbeaten. There's a lot of hype about him in Perth. I think he's sort of 3rd favourite in the Northerly behind Cascadian and Amelia's Jewel. And I just couldn't get him anywhere near as short of the market. I thought he's sort of been really well rated his last few to win. And I don't know. He's the sort of horse that's hard for me to be getting really excited about. He's only sort of small margin win last start, seemingly having everything in his favour. He could explode in a fast run race up to the mile, but at the price, I couldn't be with him. So, I'm team Fillies, but I think Amelia's Jewel, if you're sort of tipping, would be the horse you tip on top, but she's just a little bit too short at the moment. I sort of marked it 250, not 220. As I said, Linden Lady, I just think's over the odds here.
Looks a decent way to.
She's a run behind it, like Amelia's Jewel. She's like first up 1,200. He came out and basically said he'd given her 2 gallops and a whatever, and then straight to 14, straight to a mile. It's like she's a run behind all the time, and you're trying to take evens about a horse that's chasing its tail fitness-wise, getting to a mile. It's hard to do.
But I know that laced up heels beat her last start, but she gives me the impression she wants a mile more so, And just because she failed lace up heels at the mile last time, I wouldn't be riding this.
This horse is a much better horse than laced up.
Yeah,
heels.
exactly.
Like not the same world, but it's just the fitness wise. Like if it had a mile run or another run, it'd be much easier to. But it's got a softer. Like, yeah, I agree with exactly what you're like. Is in you can't tip anything to beat it. It's just hard to chime into 220 with confidence, even though it's best horse and whatever.
Yeah, and that was always going to be the problem going into this carnival. You're never going to get a price about her after sort of the first preparation. Like she's got SP anchors everywhere. She hasn't started above $2 in any one of her starts, and she's won 4 from 5. So you're never going to get a price. So she's a hard horse here to sort of make money out of, I think.
I'm just writing down Roy Adini win, Devouted win, and then Lyndon Lady place, and then I'm going to buy a car, and then
What, a toy car?
Yeah, and then I'm going to send my mate Oracle, who's taught me how to place bet.
Well, if you want to buy a real one, just triple your bet and place all up them all. The Oracle's spoken.
Place as well, so I'll buy a boat as well.
Yeah, a boat as well.
Boat and a car. And I'll get something for DK as well.
Yeah, and yeah.
It was still a racing show. We'll talk about the Railway Group 1. Odds to 5,000 with TopSport and Alaskan God. He's the favourite here. $4.20 Derby winner. Tricks of the Trade. My mate Troy Turner, $5. Carly's Karma, $7. Treasured Star, $10. W Pike, Ironclad. Interesting placement here. Got the Uncle Bryn form. Don't trigger Nico. Each way, $10. Devouted, $13. It's the Peter Volandes Extension Field Special. Search and Rocks, the Taylor's horse, $14. Yonkers, $14. And then last of the line, $16. And Resort Man, $18. Let's sink our teeth into a couple of replays here. Alaskan God in the WA Derby win. My little reservation with that one is it is 2,400 metres, so he's a nice big lump of a horse here, and he's just in the yellow with the pale blue, as Trav said, widest. I'm not sure.
I love it when they make ground turning like that. I love that.
Good balance.
Yeah, he accelerates away from them here. Like he's beaten average opposition, but Tricks of the Trade, it didn't stay the 2,400, but just the way he just pulls away from them, and it's pretty soft late in the end. I only wanted to highlight this because the WA Derby, 3 of the last 4 winners of the Railway, 2 of the last 3, have come off a WA Derby win and then came into a Railway second up, and that's Western Empire and Regal Power. So I actually think it sets up quite well for this race. And then I think we're going to have a look at his last start where he was at 1,400 metres first up, and this is in the Asian Bow. The race was quite slowly run. He gets right out the back and just savages the line. I think he improved his speed that last sort of 200 metres by 2.5 lengths. Sign of a good horse when they just sort of keep improving through the sections. And I think the real tick to this horse is if it's a typical Railway and it's sort of run, 6-7 lengths above benchmark at least, on that sort of above average to fast sort of speed, he's going to be the horse that is best suited. All of his racing's pretty much come in even to slow run races where he's just had a better turn of foot. He looks to me like he could just be a high pressure monster, and he just hasn't seen a high pressure race. Like he's 5 from 7. That includes his maiden defeat where he was turned out straight after. So you could really argue the case. If you put a line through that, he's pretty much 5 from 6. Just has that one defeat last start in the Asian Bow where he was there for a barrier trial. No simpler than that.
So he's unbeaten, really. He's unbeaten.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think it's an interesting narrative to make. But he comes into this race as the horse that's just so deadly. And I sort of did a lot of stats last night looking at horses in handicap grade. And I was sort of trying to find an angle for the punters. And the big angle I found was I was sort of thinking, these big booming finishes going up in distance to handicaps, is it a good angle to take? And punting form systems, it was good, but it wasn't like extremely profitable. It was just on the profit side. So I went hunting. I think a lot of these WA races, because they run at such a good clip, you can get into it from the back, and just did some digging on back markers in WA Group 1s. And there was sort of like 66 horses that it took in for sort of 12 winners at a nearly 20% strike rate. But the profit on turnover back markers in Group 1 races in Perth, I think it was for the last It's going back to about 2013. See, because there's only so few Group 1s in Perth, you need a little bit of data, but it was nearly 80% pot. So it was an angle, I was a little bit surprised at, because, every week we come on these shows, or every week, you guys run Bet Doctor every week, and the angle is always to try and find horses up on top of the speed. I'm sort of coming away from that in handicap races, and at the elite level in Perth, I just think they set up better for the back markers. And I think the draw's not bad for him. He just gets to blend into the race. Chris Parnham should be able to find the back of Willie Pike on Treasured Star. He's a much better horse than Treasured Star. I aggressively priced him here. I marked him inside $3. I think he's a complete moral.
The more you talk about him, the more I sort of like, and I've got a couple of queries on a couple of these runners. This is an interesting one. The next replay we're going to have a look at is a roughie here. God has chosen, and again, it's in the yellow, and it's second last.
Yes, second last. This is a race that was run really slowly. Sort of the on-speed horses dominate the race. You got Massimo out front, who's a very hard horse to get past, and Carly's Karma sort of breathing down his neck. They sort of fight out the finish, and God has chosen. Again, he's a bit sort of similar to Alaskan God here. This is what isn't go time for him. He sort of gets a long way back. I thought his last 200 was okay. It doesn't look that good visually, but sectionally he got through the line all right. And I just think this horse is set to peak third up. And they've gone the blinkers on, which I just love for grand final time, putting blinkers on. And he's responded under that setup before. You go back last preparation, he started favourite practically in all the weight for age races at 1,600, 2,000 metres in Perth that were Group 3 races. And I have to take out probably Alaskan God, who's going to be a Group 1 horse. This is a Group 3 race. It's a terrible addition of the race.
Best. That's exactly what I was going to say. At best, it's a Group 3.
Well, like you look at Ironclad, he started $14 in the Cranbourne Cup and runs fourth, and somehow he's $10 here.
On the 7-day backup out of a high-pressure race.
Let's have a look at Ironclad here, because obviously he's last.
Yeah.
And it was
just watch him charge.
It was
in
a
the
leaderish
fourth.
day, but they went lickety-split in this race. And then you got Uncle Bryn for DK. Absolutely.
So the two things to look at here, Uncle Bryn just racing away and Ironclad charging.
How
into
doesn't
fourth.
this run a place, honestly?
He went via Hungry Jack's, you said, didn't he? Uncle Bryn?
Was it the slow lane? No, it wasn't.
And then you got Ironclad.
Yeah, I don't think the fence was that good late in the day. But just how he missed third. I think that was a pretty sleepy ride by Ethan. He really missed the boat. Like, he shouldn't have been that far back considering how quick they were going. Just missed the boat there completely. But
surely he doesn't cop any favours here with the jockey change.
I don't think he runs a mile. I'm gonna be John Walter.
Yeah.
John Walter, put my John Walter hat on and say he doesn't get 1,600.
Which one?
Ironclad doesn't run a mile.
I don't know. Jesus.
Tell me the race that he's
doesn't run it fast.
It's not his distance, I'm going to say.
Mate,
what's he done? He's won one mile race.
Yonkers has got 56.5 in a railway. Yonkers.
It's bonkers.
Yonkers is bonkers. Oh my God.
we talked about the Gong earlier. That race has absolutely cannibalised the railway. You could think of nearly 8 horses in it that would have made the trip across if there was no Gong. Well, Riadini.
You got an Ingham for $2 million in 2 weeks. So why would you travel? I was trying to work out why. That's got to be it. It's got to be stopping horses going to Perth.
I think the pushback of the spring carnival in Victoria as well, like with the Ballarat Cup worth $500,000, the races next week on Zipping Classic Day. There's just too many options for them down south. I heard sort of Catherine Coleman during the week on After the Last, the assistant trainer for Peter Moody, and she said, "Why would you go? You know, it costs you a lot to get there. You've still got to beat the Perth horses." Yeah, I was a little bit surprised with some of the comments. I think there's a lot of mares that are sitting around that are just, you know, a horse like a tissue. Like, this would be a perfect race for it. Doesn't have a Group 1 on the CV, and they've left it begging to win a Gong, or a Ballarat Cup, whichever one she's left in. Yeah, I think there's some interesting placement from stables here because realistically, outside of Alaskan God, you would have taken any horse over from the east and would have been confident they could run top 3.
I think this horse can definitely be stronger slate. I've even got a better idea. I'm going to start a Twitter account and call it Super Multi-Scoot. And then I'm going to take Yankees to win
Yankees or Yankees?
And a boat, and then this is going to be for the house, and I'm going to throw in Alaskan God for the 4th legger. And I'm going to do all that super multi-scoot stuff, and then I'm going to do a little tutorial video at the end of it, how I did it, and buy an apartment.
Does the result matter?
What's that?
Winning or?
I don't know. I'm just going to do it.
You're just going to do it?
Yeah, and if it all goes...
So you're going to pre-spend the money that you're going to win off the Yankee before it wins?
If it goes bad, I'm
That's
just going to
do,
chase on Fletcher's tips in Hong Kong.
Just
Sunday.
show them your ticket. So listen, this is going to win on Saturday. So just give me the house, the car, the boat now, and we'll just work it out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon you'll be sweet.
Outstanding stuff. All right, that's 3 races at Perth. That's plenty. And watch the car crash rides because they are absolutely.
I can't believe you didn't show the replay. That's the weakest thing I've ever seen.
We'll play it next week.
You must really like Trav. I don't know why, but you must really like it.
He said, "Don't play the replay."
I know. That's what I mean. So that normally means
specifically requested.
And I would have put the
volume
remote
up. Yeah,
put the remote through. Play Marika.
Yeah.
Troy Turner.
Normally you ring me at that stage, and you're like, "Can you put a compilation together of this?" And just really hammering.
It's the worst thing. Like you're a video commenter like me, so I video comment every horse and every maid, and then you get a race like that. If it's 10 runners or 12 runners, you got to do it. Watch it 10 times, and watch the slaughter and the shit show 10 times. It's just torture.
I think there was about 4 horses out of it this week, so I've watched it too many times already. And it'll be on every replay channel. So
suckers for punishment. Thank you, T-Dogs, and let's get you on next week just to go toe-to-toe with Terence just to drive him absolutely bonkers. But good luck on the weekend, and hopefully Alaskan God wins you lots of money and me the house.
Hopefully.
Thanks, mate. All right, let's time to talk about Don's best. Haven't forgot this week. Driver deal last week. He's loves the shorty, the king of Grafton, Donny.
G'day, gents. Donny's best for this weekend's racing is back. Good to get another best bet home last week. Drive to your love was off the map. Let's keep the momentum going and TopSport hurting. This week we've got 2 bets. The first one comes up on my home track of Grafton. A lot of people call it Grafton because that's how good I go there. So let's get this one home. On Friday, race 4, number 1, Noble Mission. It's 2 runs since its gelding operation has been really good. Last start, it was terribly held up between the 300 and the 150, but still ran the best last 200 of the race. The wide draw suits. It should settle 1-1, potentially even lead. It should be too fast. There are a bunch of walkers. The $3.30 on offer is more than fair enough, so I'm happy to take that on Friday, race 4, number 1. And also on Sunshine Coast on Saturday, we're going race 7, number 9, Jisui Bell. It was hampered after the gates opened last start at Eagle Farm. The soft draw here means it's going to settle a lot closer. It rocketed home last start. The winner got a bit of a head start on it, pocketed it in. Once it got to the outside, it zoomed home late. Ryan Maloney takes over from Taylor Marshall, which is a massive jockey upgrade. The soft draw helps. I think it should be winning. It'll get to the crown of the track and go bang. Even money, it's about the right price, but I'll be on. Don't worry about that. I'll take the double as well at Grafton. So the 2 best bets this weekend are Grafton on Friday, race 4, number 1, Noble Mission, and Sunshine Coast on Saturday, race 7, number 9, Jisui Bell. Good luck, gentlemen.
Dear Grafton. Hasn't he got a bit of swag? I tell you what, his bloodshot eyes sort of give him away. He might have been on the morning Billies there when he's recorded that, old Donny, or he's got pink eye or something.
There's not many things that surprise me, but Grafton. And how good I go at Grafton. Oh,
it's
my
a big
God.
flex. Big flex.
Grafton.
Especially when they're even money. Like,
340.
You're not asking for trouble, are you?
Oh, well, he just fishes in that sharp end of the pond all the time.
Oh, my
the steel prices, cupboard jobs,
Grafton.
as we say. Grafton, race 4, 1 Friday, Noble Mission. Saturday, Sunshine Coast, 7-9, Jisui Bell. Thank you. Très bien. Hopefully, Donny is best.
Nothing to add.
He's got a no. I shouldn't say that about his eyes. He's probably had a rough night. He's got a 6-month-old.
You shouldn't call him a drug addict on camera?
No.
Okay, no worries.
No, that's why we're not on commercial.
Yeah,
we would have been brushed for everything that we said today.
Yes.
TopSport Steam, as I said, no joy, and these could be. This bet's not too bad. Railway Stakes, Ascot race 8, number 15, Treasured Star, $412. Winning chance, has decent form around Alaskan God. Something bad happens to Alaskan God, maybe it can win. And then this is a quirky bet, this one. Ballarat race 9, number 11, Nemeth, Mitchell Beer, friend of the show. 150 at $21.
I'll just come out of Sydney.
That's in the Crestani race with Nico Noonan. All right. Hopefully we've found you.
Is that it? That's the Steamers.
Oh, that's the Steamers. That's the end of the show.
They've literally run out of steam.
Hey?
150 on Mitch Beer in the thing at Ballarat is the steamer.
Well, I think Treasured Stars.
That's not even a. That's a nothing. Yeah, it's not even a. What is that?
What are you doing here?
No, nothing.
You're getting in trouble there.
I'm getting in trouble, Borko.
What was getting in trouble? Look at this. He was trying to build himself a gold medal to put around his neck at the end of the show.
Yeah.
This is what I have to deal with. This is what my AV guy has to
Look at the bowling ball.
in my ear saying paper shuffling. No, it's paper ripping because he's a moron.
Oh, like graft on was too much for me. I just couldn't trump that, so I just got bailed out.
Oh, shit. The heat's getting to us up here, DK.
Yeah, well, it's not a problem down here, but what have we got, Nico? We've got Tatura, Penshurst, Swan Hill, Terang. Might be something there.
One of the only tracks I've never been to, Penshurst.
Penshurst, yeah. I won a race there.
Have you?
Me and Croft, Boxing Day, 20 years ago. The mighty Kingston Hawk, Nifty Wilson, got the money. Then he got off the horse that won the race. He said, sell it. Like, it's the worst thing. He said, don't pop me horse. Don't, pop me missus, pot everything else. Don't pop me horse. So we couldn't sell the bloody thing. We should have. But anyway, that's a bit more to look forward to than bloody Mornington and Maui and all these brothel joints that have been on this week, Bairnsdale and everything. So,
won a Penshurst Cup?
Your old man, Big Dave?
No, we haven't won one.
Oh.
Court deep. He won a Penshurst Cup.
Penshurst Cup.
Give him strength on Saturday.
That's the angle there. All right, beautiful. Thanks, guys, in Melbourne. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching. Big thanks to TopSport, Punting for Manscaped for keeping us afloat here. And we'll be back next week. Not sure what's going on next week, but I think we've still got a couple of shows to go because we had that break in July.
Give me the right address next week, will you? So I won't go to someone else where you don't live anymore.
Very smart, man. Well, but geez, you go missing, don't you?
I've been missing for a long time.
There you go. Anyone that says that we cut everyone off, we've just done a 2-hour show, so no more feedback, please.
Where's Trav? I miss him.
We'll see you next week.